Okay, we're all pretty blown away by what AI can do these days. But have you ever stopped and wondered about the real mystery hiding behind all that magic? Let's dive right in.
You know the drill. You ask an AI to write a poem, create a wild image, or break down a complicated document, and boom, out pops this polished, perfect result. But what about the millions of articles, the endless art, the mountains of code it learned from? Where did all of that stuff go?
And that's the heart of the problem. For most of the AI we use, the training process is like a one-way street. All this amazing data goes in, gets thrown into a giant digital blender, and it becomes impossible to trace where any single idea or style came from. This is a huge issue, right? Not just for the creators who deserve credit, but for anyone who needs to actually verify the information they're getting.
But what if we could build an AI that actually remembers its roots? Let's take a look at a new idea for a standard that could change everything: the ethics system.
Yep, it's called the ethics system, which is an acronym for Ethical Tracking and Honest Influence Compensation System. I know, it's a mouthful, but trust me, every part of that name is crucial. It's all about designing a system that's transparent, fair, and accountable from the ground up.
So this system really has three main goals. First, total transparency, so we can finally see what data is shaping an AI's answers. Second, fair compensation, making absolutely sure that creators get rewarded for their work. And third, verifiable accountability, which just means having a crystal clear, traceable log of influence.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, but how would it actually work in the real world? Let's break it down into a pretty simple three-step process.
So, step 1. Every single piece of data, an article, a photo, a line of code, gets a unique ID or UID. Think of it like a digital fingerprint, totally unique. Step 2. As the AI trains and creates answers, the system is constantly tracking the influence of every single one of those fingerprints. It measures precisely how much each original source contributed. And finally, step 3, the payoff. It uses a secure, transparent system like a blockchain to automatically send tiny payments to the original creators based on that influence. And because it's on the blockchain, it's all public and can't be tampered with.
Now, to see how this all clicks together, let's look at a really cool concrete example. What would happen if you applied this whole system to one of the most famous writers in all of history?
Just imagine for a second that we build a small AI model, but instead of feeding it the entire internet, we put it on a very strict diet. Only the complete, collected works of William Shakespeare. Every play, every sonnet, every single line gets tagged with its own unique ID.
Now, here comes the fun part. We give this Shakespeare bot a modern, kind of absurd prompt. Speak like Macbeth about electric cars. What in the world would it say? And more importantly, where would its words actually come from?
And here is the result. On the left, you see the AI's response, which is suitably dramatic, of course. But the real magic is on the right. The ethics system gives us a verifiable breakdown, showing that the response was 43% shaped by language from Macbeth and another 26% from Hamlet. All of a sudden, that black box is gone. It's a brilliant little example of how we can get incredible creativity and have full transparency.
The Shakespeare example is just a taste, though. This same principle could be scaled up to paint a much bigger picture, and it could potentially transform entire industries.
Think about it. For artists and musicians, an AI could generate a brand new song in the style of two different artists, and the system would automatically credit and send royalties to both of them based on exactly how much they influenced the final track.
Or take filmmaking. An AI that helps write a script could transparently show that, hey, a certain plot twist was heavily influenced by a classic noir film, making sure the original screenwriters get the credit they absolutely deserve.
And for researchers and academics, wow, this would be a complete game changer. Imagine an AI that generates a summary of research papers and automatically provides a perfect, verifiable list of citations for every single claim it makes. That would just revolutionize academic integrity overnight.
When you step back and look at it all, the benefits are pretty clear. It builds trust, because creators know their work will be valued. It actually motivates people to contribute higher quality data, because they know they'll be fairly rewarded. It would spark a whole new wave of innovation in ethical AI. And, ultimately, it could establish a new global standard for how we build AI responsibly.
So we have a really powerful concept, a clear blueprint, and some tangible examples. Which brings us to the ultimate question. How do we get from this idea to reality? A system like ethics isn't just a technical upgrade. It's so much more than that. It's really a proposal for a whole new social contract between us and our AIs. It's a vision for a future where our technology is built not just to be powerful, but to be fundamentally fair and transparent.
Here's the kicker. The technologies needed to build this, neural networks, unique IDs, blockchain, they all exist today. The path is there, it's conceivable. So the real question we're left with isn't a technical one, it's a human one. What will it take for developers, for companies, and for all of us to demand and adopt a more ethical standard for AI? What do you think?